Poll for today. Do you agree that the Democratic debates were a disaster for the party? Joe Biden crashes and burns in most humiliating spectacle of 2020 race. If you've kept an eye on polling data or the news for the past few months, it's easy to assume that former Vice President Joe Biden will be the Democratic presidential nominee. While that could still happen, if you watch the Democratic presidential debate on Thursday night, your opinions might have changed considerably. Biden might have been a go-getter in his prime, but last night he proved that President Donald Trump's Sleepy Joe nickname is painfully accurate. Senator Kamala Harris, who has struggled to get her campaign off of the ground, launched an incredibly effective surprise attack on Biden's recent comments that he was proud of being able to work with segregationist senators in the 1970s. She launched the assault by saying, "Vice President Biden, I do not believe you are a racist." That line alone was the equivalent of a political nuke. She continued to hammer Biden, calling his civil rights record into question, which appeared to strike a hurtful and deep blow. For a politician trying to remain relevant and prove that helps not being left behind by a younger, increasingly progressive party, he ended the debate with Harris by abruptly announcing, "Anyway, my time's up, I'm sorry." Though he was referring to his allotted 30-second response time, the unintended symbolism in that statement was difficult to ignore. Ryan Saavedra, a Daily Wire reporter, tweeted a video of Biden's cringe-worthy surrender. Ryan Saavedra twittered, "Joe Biden ends his time after getting reamed by Kamala Harris over race, shows little fight, my time's up, I'm sorry." Every other candidate continued fighting when their time expired except Biden, he just bowed out. Looks very weak. Biden tried his best to deflect Harris' attack, claiming her charge was a mischaracterization of my position across the board, and reassured millions of viewers that he did not praise racists, according to Fox News. But unfortunately for Biden, the damage was already done. And, like the guy or not, it was painful to watch. I can only imagine how many jaws hit the floor across Democratic America during the exchange. On top of that, what politician in the history of debates has ever followed the rules of response time by voluntarily cutting themselves off and saying "I'm sorry"? That was nothing less than a desperate attempt from the former vice president to keep the ship from totally sinking. Biden stumbled throughout the night as his opponents obviously smelled blood in the water. Politico described his responses as soggy and said Biden came off as tired in his manner. He had another odd moment after being asked what he would tackle as his first issue should he win the White House. Biden replied, "The first thing I would do is to make sure we defeat Donald Trump. Period. I guess it slipped his mind that if he was elected president, he would have already beaten Trump. Weird, right? Biden might have strutted onto the stage Thursday night with some level of confidence, knowing his poll numbers haven't been touched by his long list of competitors, but he walked off the stage clearly defeated and presumably ready for a stiff drink. If his debate performance is even a small indication of how he would act as president, can you imagine him going head-to-head with North Korea or China? And this might be harsh, but, my goodness, I can finally see why he hasn't managed to secure an endorsement from his former boss, Barack Obama. Whatever fire Biden used to have in his belly was fully extinguished Thursday night by his hungry opponents. I have to agree with the 76-year-old, his time is definitely up.